Hi guys, my name is Tanya and welcome back to my channel Project Podium. Today I'm with someone very special who loves racing.
Yeah.
I have honestly been stalking you since the past
Oh,
48
sure.
hours.
Okay.
So now I know everything about you.
Scary.
Welcome to my channel Vignesh,
Thank
and I'm
you.
so glad you're here.
Thanks, likewise.
I read that you just don't race cars, you're into GT as well.
Well, I'm making the switch to GT now. I've done
Okay.
one or two tests here and there with a BTCC car last year as well as a Clio Cup. And I'm trying to make a GT4 test happen sometime later this year and switch completely towards GT4, GT3.
So what do you enjoy more, karting or GT?
GTs, any day.
And how did you even get into racing?
Fun story. I was introduced to F1 only in 2017 by a friend of mine when I was in class 12.
So how old were you at that time?
17-ish,
Oh.
18, yeah, really late to
Yeah.
racing. And then I went to the US for my bachelor's.
Okay.
Wahan pe there was this, have you heard of this guy Alan Berg, who was a teammate of Senna in the past in F1, so Canadian guy. And he had this event which is Arrive and Drive at the Laguna circuit, Laguna, I forget what it's called. Laguna Seca, that's what it's called, sorry. So I did a session there and I was hooked to it, so we say. And uske baad I did around 5 days of testing in the F4 car on the west coast,
Oh,
Udari.
wow.
And I was going to race that series, but then COVID happened, I had to come back. But then I found the Indian racing scene here with the JK F4 cars. So that was my first introduction to a manual transmission car because I didn't know how to drive manual tab tak. My first race weekend I went in without testing, thinking I'll boss this because F4 real F4 experience hai. Turns out it's not the same at all, and I was struggling shifting and I was a second and a half off after my first session and I was like, oh shit, gaya. Because curry requires quick shift from like 4th to 2nd, and then I did the 50 lap endurance race that they have.
Okay.
And usme I got P2,
Oh, nice.
racing against Ragul, all of these people. So at that time I was like, okay, I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
Let's just put in a little bit more effort
Yeah.
and see how we go. And also in 21, then I did the French F4. God, I won't take that steep curve ever again because
Why?
I went from here straight to there, and those cars have insane downforce compared to the F4 cars here, right? The competition level is so high because I'll tell you, the year before me, Hadjar was racing that series, and look where he is now.
Yeah.
There's another guy called Esteban Mason who won the championship, and he raced the 24 Hours of Le Mans with the LMP2 and finished second, I believe.
Oh.
So that was the kind of pedigree I was racing with. Low on budget, went into the season without any testing. Big mistake, maybe that's something people should avoid. Biggest takeaway is go in with a good amount of testing. Then I had my chance with the Italian prototype series. So I went to Italy a month in advance to do at least 3-4 days of testing, solidly helping me. So my first weekend I was fighting for the win in Imola, which was amazing track, by the way, one of my favorites. And my second weekend I went to this little racetrack called Pergusa, just Sicily. It's around a lake, beautiful circuit.
Nice.
It was raining and I've never driven that car in the rain.
Oh my
And I have
God.
very limited rain experience. Everything fell into place and I won that race. So that was amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Again, there's a bunch of politics everywhere. So I was like, this time, let me actually carve a path to being a factory driver.
Right.
So, which is solid.
Okay.
So that's where the GT4, GT3 idea now is coming up.
Interesting. So like every driver that I have spoken to till now, they told me that they started karting very early on.
I never karted.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
5, 6, and you told me at 17.
Yeah.
How difficult and different is it for you, and is it like a very different dynamic when you're around drivers who started earlier as well?
Honestly, no, because I feel the racing community is very supportive of each other. At least initially, maybe it gets more competitive as you keep climbing the ranks. But initially, they were quite nice. They even help you. So one of my coaches earlier on in the French F4 is now BMW factory driver. So
Oh,
he taught me a lot
Right.
about how to drive those cars properly. And really early when I started my career in India, I had the support of Aditya Patel. So he was basically walking me through everything, how to shift the gears, what is the racing line, pretty much everything. And he had absolutely no need to do that.
right.
So I think support system in India and even abroad is quite strong initially, but I think eventually not really.
So you mentioned that there's a lot of politics. I've been reading about a lot of stuff happening in Formula One, but then like what is the politics that you face, and what are the issues basically that happens?
India or abroad?
Both.
Okay, so let me start abroad. Abroad, mostly it's favoritism to their own people.
Okay.
So I was trying out for a Welsh team for the Clio Cup, and they picked a Welsh guy when we were the top two, making it to the finals. And there was no difference in lap time. Everything else was pretty much dead on, and I don't really see a reason. But take care. I don't want to dive too much into the politics.
Sure.
But India, I think it's also same. It's also how long you stayed with the team that makes a difference, and how influential you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the reason why India is kind of struggling in the motorsport industry globally?
A little bit, but I think it's changing a lot, Abhi.
Right.
With the Indian F4 and the IRL, I feel it's made progress leaps and bounds. So it's towards the right trajectory, but I think we need a lot more help from all of these teams to try and push drivers a little more. I get it, there's a good amount of progress, but then if you want to see the kind of progress you're seeing in Europe, it'll take a while, but you'll get there.
Yeah. But then why do you think like the younger generation is struggling so much to kind of probably convince their family to get into racing as a career?
It doesn't pay anything.
And it's a lot of investment.
Yeah, I mean, unless you get to like the top rung of motorsport in each category, you don't really get paid, right? So if you go until F1, you get paid in F1.
Yeah.
If you go to IndyCar, you get paid in IndyCar, and it's the same thing. Once you become a factory driver, you get paid as a factory driver. But tab tak, you just have to keep shelling out money either through yourself, your parents, or sponsors, jo bhi hai, with no guaranteed return on investment. So, and in India, people still don't consider sports really seriously. You see
Unless
that,
it's
right?
cricket.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cricket or religion.
Exactly.
So unless it's a thing that requires a lot of change. I feel with other sports as well. I think collectively it will take a while to get away from cricket. But hey, I think there's a lot of potential in this country. I mean, we're biggest population, right? So
I have always wondered, we are a population of 1.3 billion people.
Yeah.
That is a sector of people who are very rich.
Mhm.
And I've always wondered, why don't we have people like in sports in general on a global stage? You know, it's not just racing.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of sad and not understandable at times.
It's more surprising to me
Yeah.
that people don't make an effort, because I think bachpan se we have that habit, right? And in our country, is it medical, is it law, is it engineering? And
yeah.
then we're like bound to that. We
Yeah.
don't even consider other options.
True.
But I think the current generation is open to that. Even their parents are open to that. So you're seeing a lot more diversified interest in different areas compared to maybe 5-7 years ago.
So when it came to your parents,
Yeah.
were they like extremely supportive, or was it like a shock to them that, okay, what is our son wanting to get into?
It was a shock for sure. My dad was very supportive for sure. My brother was very supportive as well. So he acts as my manager.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he'll do some of the outreaches for me still.
Okay.
So I've got great support. My mom took a little bit of convincing to get to, because she's like, why do you want to drive cars so fast? Chupchap ghar pe baithna. You get a nice job, all of those things. And I've defied her both. I've not gotten a job. I've started my own company now, and I'm racing cars. So it's like, mom's really, it's hard for her to take
But
it all
she's a
in.
mother, I
I
kind
mean,
of, yeah.
she has accepted it right now, and she's very supportive now. But I think the first 2-3 years until she started seeing results, it was a little iffy.
I mean, I understand where she's coming from. Even
Yeah.
when I told my mom I don't want to work and this is what I want to do, she was like, not okay.
Yeah.
Unless she saw that, okay, it's kind of working, she's
Exactly.
like, fine, do
Yeah.
what
Unless
you
you give them results,
yeah.
it's
Yeah. So what's like your goal when it comes to racing and motorsports?
Being a factory driver, irrespective of who the manufacturer is, at first I was set with Porsche in my head, because I mean that is the epitome
dream,
of
yeah.
of GTs and hypercars.
Right.
So I want to race in the WEC, IMSA, all of these series with the manufacturer support. I don't care who it is at this point, because I just want to make it. If Porsche is looking high, their cars are amazing, just the sound, the whole history. And I really love watching their car number 6 in the hypercars. So I'm a big fan of Lawrence Vanthoor and Kevin Estre, because those guys behind the wheel are insane. Even in the 24 hours race now, they start last and finish second. Like, come on, that's insane. People ask, oh, what do you think when you race? It's random thoughts.
Do you even think already?
No, so when you're on the straights, I'm sometimes humming a song, honestly.
What?
Yeah,
At that
yeah.
speed?
Yeah.
Are you like thinking, what should I have for lunch today after this?
Yeah, honestly,
What?
sometimes, yeah, it happens.
No.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm looking forward to that restaurant after the race.
Is it difficult to get sponsorship in India?
Very. My whole story revolves around just sending emails every single day. So even in my car right now, I have my laptop open with my email and source finder for emails. So at this point, I'm not lying, I've sent over 20,000 emails, right, just for sponsorship in India and across the globe. And I've maybe landed maybe 2 or 3 out of those.
What?
It's very tricky, very, very tricky, because people don't really see a return on investment on it, right? So the best way to do it is to do it through warm leads and warm contacts, and you need to know someone to know someone.
It's not as fancy and fun and thrilling as
no.
it looks. There's a lot going behind.
Yeah, and I mean that's one aspect. Then you have to do a lot of cold calling. You have to go meet people in person, explain to them what you are, explain to them the return on investment that they get. Because they care about, yeah, sure, it's just a sticker on a car, but that's the least they care about. They care about the other stuff that happens, because track pay, there's a lot of, okay, this is a very business word, but B2B networking काफ़ी होता है, and that is where they get most of their revenue back from, closing deals on track. And if you've ever been to a track event in Europe, you will see there are these separate hospitality units. No one's watching the race. No one is watching the race. They're all there in that room negotiating. That's how it is. That's how I met so many different people. I once met Dilbag Gill in Barcelona. He was chatting with Maini's dad, because I believe Arjun was racing that weekend in the GT3. And you see like the most random but the most influential people there.
Is there like a way that people look at Indians kind of differently abroad? Like if they don't take you seriously, or they're like, you're from India, I don't know.
No.
Oh yeah?
I haven't seen that.
Wow.
I mean, I've seen, yeah, sure, you can call it racism, more like partiality to their own people. That's a much better way to put it. But I think if you have the speed, if you prove yourself, you're in amongst them. So I don't think based on that they really care too much. They're like, okay, you're racing, okay, prove it to me. And if you give them lap time,
wow.
yeah, you're worth it.
Where is like, which country for you is the best to race in? Like, the atmosphere, the people, the racers.
I'd say Italy is amazing, because I've raced at Monza, Imola, all of these circuits, right? To just see the passion that people bring towards motorsport. Even one of my race engineers from the team, he goes to F1 events like Monza, Imola, all of these places. And the passion that the Tifosi are able to bring is just incredible. Even for junior categories, the place is packed.
Yeah.
And you basically feel like you're racing F1. That's the kind of support they show you.
What's like your routine like when you're not racing? What are your other things that you do? Of course you have your company, but apart from that.
I spend a lot of time on the sim. Got a nice little setup, and I don't race competitively. It's just me racing against my own ghost car constantly. I do a lot of cafe tours because I'm probably an addict to coffee at this point. Yeah. Trying new different places, especially Bandra Fort area. Obviously cricket, watching cricket.
Cricket is...
my mom gives me a lot of shit for watching test cricket.
Anyone will. Are you one of those who watches every ball and just misses when he has to like go to the restroom or something?
No, I mean like I'll obviously have my work, getting my work done on my laptop in front of me, and I'll be running in the background. If anything happens, I'll be there to watch it, that kind.
Dude, there's a friend of mine who watches test cricket, like every ball is gonna be a 6. Goes on for like 5 days and it's just like everyone is in white.
Honestly, it's very fun. Like I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Just can't. Like with cricket, I think I'm just an India-Pakistan person, or like a final where India's playing. I don't think I'm a person who watch cricket alone.
I have a friend who's played until Ranji.
Oh wow.
So usse kafi insight aata rehta hai, and like I have constant discussions with him about what's going on in the test as well.
Right.
For me, I find that quite amusing.
Talking about Formula One,
Mhm.
you said that you started watching in 2017.
Yeah,
Who was your favorite driver?
Vettel.
And right now, like from the current grid?
I'm going to still say Hamilton is my favorite out there, just because of what he's done, what he can do. And I'm honestly hoping for a better car for him.
I know.
Because it just sucks seeing him like
I know.
not being competitive.
I
Even
know.
last weekend round in Silverstone, he broke that podium streak in Silverstone. I mean, I'm happy for Hulkenberg, don't
Yeah,
get me
of
wrong, but
course.
then like
I
that
mean,
streak
yeah,
would
I
have been
understand,
insane.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the silly season that we're?
I mean, as far as I know, I don't think Max is going anywhere. Logically, it doesn't make sense, wouldn't make sense. For Cadillac, I honestly hope Bottas gets a redemption. But rumors are he's going to Alpine, right? And Mick Schumacher maybe deserves another shot. But there's a lot of other drivers I feel Cadillac can still look at. I've seen a photo of Frederick Vesti meeting with the team boss of Cadillac. Then I believe that it's an American team, right? So there's Colton Herta there. Pato O'Ward might potentially ditch McLaren because McLaren's drivers are pretty sorted out for.
How do you think the 2026 grid is going to look like in case the Max switch happens to Mercedes, which even I don't think is happening?
I think.
Where is George going? I just want to know.
So I'm thinking Aston Martin, because again you've got the best of the best, right? And either Stroll or Alonso has to.
I don't think Stroll is getting out.
Yeah, but like Alonso, again, he's a rookie, right? So he needs maybe more time. Again, Ferrari stays the same. Red Bull potentially get Hadjar.
Yeah. I think it'll be very early for Lindbergh to like directly come in Red Bull when it's
They-
2026 with a Ford engine.
Oh yeah, it's
I
a Ford
mean,
engine,
yeah.
right? I mean, they did that with Max. They picked him up within a few races. No, Red Bull has been a shock so far.
Very, very silly.
I mean, the only savior they've had is Max.
Max,
Yeah.
yeah. If there
And-
is no Max, I think it would be like, I don't even know, because like Sonora is basically getting lapped twice in
Yeah.
races. So
Yeah, no points also, right?
nothing,
Yeah.
nothing. Stake is doing way better than Red Bull
Honestly,
at this point.
Hulkenberg's magical races I still am finding quite hard to understand, because he'll start dead last
Yeah.
and then he'll end up like in the points,
Yeah.
and it's crazy with that car.
I think he's just a good driver who never had the opportunity with a great car for a very long time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm excited to see what happens with the Audi project, honestly.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the 2026 regulations?
I like them. I mean, the cars are going to be a little slower for sure,
Yeah.
but then I think you can race a lot closer,
Yeah.
and ground effects pretty much gone,
Hmm.
and that brings a lot of teams into contention again,
Right.
and a lot of driving styles back in contention, because I feel the ground effect has not worked for Hamilton with his driving style, because he tends to brake late and like rotate the car mid corner. Again, Ving off the corner, and that hasn't quite worked with this car because it just snaps too much
Yeah.
on him. And I feel with that gone, the new regulations bring more hope for me that he performs better,
Yeah.
because they are more suited towards his driving style. But they've gotten rid of DRS, they've put
Yeah.
in something called a manual
Mom.
over. Exactly.
Mom.
I mean, I've heard rumors about a few engines stalling on the Monza straight and being slower than F2 with the current testing, so don't really know how it will pan out.
Who do you think is winning championship this season?
Oscar?
I'm also an Oscar person.
I'm
yeah.
not a Lando fan.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I
No.
think Oscar's more collected, but I think the last two races, Lando's upped his game.
Yeah.
And a lot of reasons for that, because McLaren have again changed the suspension setting just for him, so he feels more in tune with the
Yeah.
car. I'm very nerdy with these details, so there was a video by this guy called Driver61 on YouTube,
Okay.
and he was basically talking about how McLaren has changed a certain part of the suspension to help Lando with the brake feel on the car, and the moment you've changed that, he's been again fighting with Oscar.
Yeah. Even I'm hoping for an Oscar
Yeah.
championship this season. I am going to take a name of a driver and you have to tell me their strength and weakness.
Okay.
Okay? Sebastian Vettel.
Outright speed, I think. Cons, maybe temper.
But temper sometimes is okay. It's good, needed in the sport.
Yeah, but if you remember, was it 17 Azerbaijan, which got him that
Yeah.
whack.
Yeah.
I think also another thing which I really like about Seb is how technical he can get, and that definitely helps the team take the right direction with the car.
Max Verstappen.
I mean, strength, everything.
Of course.
But again, I think weakness I find only one temper. How he gets off with GP and other drivers.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he can lose track of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Maybe that incident with George in Barcelona is a good example of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, how can you fault that guy? He's so incredible with what he does.
He is. Alonso.
Weakness, I was going to say age, but maybe not.
He's a rookie forever.
I'd say weakness, making the wrong career moves for himself because he got screwed with Ferrari when the car was understeering, oversteering at the same point, which was, I don't know how Ferrari does that. Strength, I think just adaptability because he's come through different generations and he's still been rapid.
He's there.
Yeah, so that's it.
Carlos Sainz.
Strengths also, I think I'd say adaptability.
Yeah.
No, even strengths, I'd also say strategy for himself, like outdoing Ferrari with his own strategy, even the genius of holding people in DRS, genius.
I also feel that he's a very good team player.
He's a very good
Very
team
good
player.
team player.
Yeah. I was going to say he has to be a little bit more selfish.
Yeah.
If he wants to get to the top, I think he's starting to say that on the radio of like, oh, let's swap places or something like that, but I think he has to be more assertive.
Right. Oscar Piastri.
Strengths, pretty much everything. Very calm, collected, super quick, race pace also really good. Again, he needs to be a little bit more assertive on the radio with like getting what he needs. Because if he doesn't do that, I think McLaren are happy to favor someone who's asking for it rather than not. So maybe be a little bit more decisive because wheel-to-wheel racing also he's very, very good.
Very good.
Yeah. I can't really fault him anymore because he's also my age. No, he's amazing as a driver, as a person also, because you see how calm. I think he's the calmest driver on the grid.
I don't know how. Like
in the heat of the battle,
pressure.
he'll just be like, okay, copy. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to learn that from him. Honestly,
he is amazing.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc.
Weakness, terrible career choice, living with Ferrari, because my god, that guy has depression in his eyes at this point.
100%.
Strengths, I'd say. Probably the best qualifier on the grid.
I know, Lewis Hamilton.
Strengths, everything. I think the stats will agree with me there. Weakness, probably adaptability to the current generations because he's struggling with the ground effect cars since Mercedes times. And I think a lot of self-harming criticism for himself because when he speaks on the radio on his off days, it just feels like he's ready to give up.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to like cut that, but he's probably a better mental performer and coach than I am, but still.
So I have a bunch of questions that I would want to. Why do you think India is struggling in the F1 space?
Cricket dominance is biggest reason again, and also opportunities, not enough compared to Europe because most of the opportunities are down south in Chennai, Coimbatore, now the street circuits as well. But I think just those, and again, lack of money in the sport. These three main reasons.
Which racetrack do you least look forward to and why?
Least look forward to, again on the sim, this is I haven't been here in real life. I'd say the worst one in India is probably Curry because it's the shortest of them all. Monaco.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It's not built for racing.
Yeah,
it's
it is not
built for qualifying and that's it. I mean, I get the history of it, I get the track and how much adrenaline goes through it when you're doing a perfect lap. For racing, maybe Monaco not that great. No.
How can one start his or her racing career post 30 years old?
At that point, you'd have to have a lot of money and be categorized as a gentleman driver, at least in the G. So F1, maybe forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're starting out where I did, also forget about F1 because age is not on your side.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Alonso. But if you want to go the GT way, it's still possible, but it would be more towards having crazy money with you and being categorized as a gentleman driver or a bronze level driver.
How much does it cost to procure every level of racing license up to Formula 1?
For me, I have an international C license, and to get the international and domestic C licenses, it cost me maybe 15,000 a year. And I think obviously the costs keep going up. If you're in F1, the teams are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
If you had no budget constraints, what would your 3-car garage look like?
F40 Ferrari,
Okay.
a classic, a really old vintage 911 Carrera, because I'm a Porsche fan, and ideally in like the olive green color, maybe something like the leaves on the tree. The third one would be some sort of convertible. Actually, you know what? I'll call it my car, my I-20. I love that car to death. So that is my third car.
Very interesting choices.
Yeah.
I love it. What role do you think sim racing can play in developing racing talent in India, especially among younger drivers or those with limited resources? And with gaming being one of the biggest growth markets in India, what's stopping sim racing from being mainstream and more people getting into it?
Long question. I'll answer that part by part. I think
Yeah, do you want me to ask you part by part?
No,
Okay.
it's fine. I think the first part is sim racing definitely helps a lot, because I think my first ever experience was a challenge, but then I did a lot of hours on the sim, and that basically makes you just replicate what it is in real life. Again, you have to take into consideration how the tires are different, maybe that's the only thing, and again, your body and how that feels. Getting used to the tires and the forces in real life is the biggest difference. But rest, I think the simulators now are quite good in replicating quite accurately what you see on the track. The second question, since gaming is so big in India, sim racing isn't quite there yet. I mean, there's a big community which just started picking up, and there's a lot of creators as well who are portraying that sim racing can be done even for leisure. And it's getting more affordable by the day, because there's really good entry-level products available like the Thrustmaster and the Logitech. I started with the Thrustmaster TMX wheel myself and basically clipped it onto my dining table. So that's a very, very cheap and affordable and a very good way to start, because it's, again, it will get you a good feel of what to expect. There's a lot of, again, sim racing competitions which are lacking in India, because iRacing organizes events in coordination with Moza and Fanatec, and again, those will get you there. And now there's a lot of pathways from sim racing to reality as well, like they're giving you a fully sponsored drive. The moment people start looking at F1, I mean, that's already growing a lot, right, considering DTS and all of the F1 movie now. There's a lot of trends coming into F1, and I've seen a lot of arcades being started with the sims in it.
Yeah.
But not yet, it will get there, but it's quite realistic.
Thank you so much for
Yeah, of
coming.
course.
It was
It
a
was good
lovely
fun.
chat, and I learned a lot of things from you. Hopefully someday when I start karting, I might like
For sure, for
to
sure.
kart with you someday. That would be
Sounds
insane.
good.
But thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.